Is everybody ready? I should say, I'm ready. Ready to learn with you today and have some fun along the way. Ready, set, go! We are going to talk about shapes today, and we're going to be inventors. We're going to invent a pretend robot today. All right. Now you're going to need some things that you can find around your house. Of course, you're going to need your school tools because you're going to need some glue and some tape and some markers and some scissors, the stuff that we always use whenever we sit down and we make a project. But we're going to use some kind of different things today because regular paper like this kind is going to be too wiggly. It's not going to work. Now you are going to need a piece like this because we're going to draw some shapes, because we're going to talk a little bit about shapes today too. But you're going to need some heavier paper. Now this is a little heavier. Can you see it's a little bit thicker? This is some cardstock or construction paper would work. And you're going to need some really heavy paper, like a cereal box. Inside of a cereal box that's kind of really heavy, if we want our robot to stand up, we're going to need some really heavy paper. So you could cut apart a cereal box or a heavier piece of cardboard. Even sometimes boxes that deliveries come in, that kind of paper would work too. You could cut out some pieces like that and make your shapes that you need to make a robot. Another fun thing that we are going to try, if you want to, now you don't have to because everyone's going to create their own. We're going to be our own inventors. That means we're going to make it the way we want to make it. We can use some toilet paper tubes. And if we use these toilet paper tubes, we'll be able to make our robots stand up. And this might need a little bit of grown-up help, but not very much. And I think you could make him stand up, or you can just hold him kind of like a puppet robot too. So that's what we're going to do today, is we're going to make a robot. I'm going to show you one that I made a long time ago, so you kind of get an idea of what we're going to be making. Something kind of like this guy right here. Okay? We're going to make something like this guy, and it's going to be so fun. We're going to have a great time. So grab your things, and we're going to start making a robot. Now, before we make the robot, I'm going to talk a little bit about shapes, because we need shapes in order to invent our robot. We're going to need lots and lots of shapes. And so I think we should talk about what shapes are so we kind of get an idea of what things we need to work with today. So let's talk for just a minute about the shapes we're going to need. Does anybody know what shape this is? What shape is that? A circle. A circle just goes all the way around, doesn't it? Now, what if the circle kind of gets long, kind of like an egg? What shape is that? An oval. That's correct, because if you get a circle, it's all the way around. Now, an oval's all the way around, but it's kind of stretched out, and a circle is just round, isn't it? Okay. Now, what about something that has, and oh, one other thing, look. They just have one side. It just one. They both just have one side. That's all. But what if it has more than one side? What if it has three sides? Do you know what this is called? Let's count the sides. 1, 2, 3. Tri means three, so it's a triangle. It has three angles or three sides, so it's called a triangle. Now there's another shape that has 4 sides and not called a triangle, but it sounds a little bit the same. Let me see if I can find one of those. Do you know what this is called? Instead of a triangle, this is a rectangle, because it's got 2 short sides and 2 long sides, which is 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 4 sides on this rectangle, and there are only 3 sides on this triangle. That's kind of cool. Now there's another shape that has 4 sides. In fact, there's 2 more shapes that have 4 sides. Let's look carefully at them. This one is a diamond. Can you see how the lines are kind of slanted? They're all the same size, 1, 2, 3, 4, and they're kind of slanted. Now this one is a square. Very good. And it's got 1, 2, 3, 4 sides, but the sides are all the same. Now, sometimes a diamond, the sides aren't exactly all the same size. Let's look at this one. These 2 sides are short and these 2 are long, like a kite. In order for a kite to fly, it has 2 shorter sides on the top and 2 longer sides on the bottom, but it still has 4 sides. And you know what? It's not like a rectangle with 2 short and 2 long. A rectangle has them across from each other. So 2 longs here and 2 shorts here. So that's kind of tricky, but can you see the difference? Let me turn it around so it's easy just to see the shape. There's 4 sides, but they're facing a different way, aren't they? So diamond, rectangle, and a square. Shapes are kind of fun to work with. And do you know what? If you look around your house, can you see some shapes? Let's play a little game for just a minute. I'm going to grab a shape and I want you to look around your room and see if you can find that shape. All right, how about, let's start with a triangle. Can you find a triangle shape anywhere in your home? Let's think, look around. Can you see something that's a triangle? If you can't see one by looking, let's think for a minute. What about pizza? Is pizza a rectangle? You know what? I have a picture of a pizza. Let's see if I can find my pizza right here. Is that a triangle? 1, 2, 3. 3 different sides. So pizza's a good triangle. Yeah, let's try another shape. How about, can you find a circle? Can you find a circle somewhere in your house? A lot of times people have clocks that look like a circle. Do you have a clock that looks like a circle? Sometimes clocks are an octagon shape. Now look how many sides this one has. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's an octagon and it has 8 sides. And sometimes clocks have 8 sides. Sometimes clocks are just a square. But a lot of times, clocks are a circle. Did you find a circle somewhere in your house? All right, let's see if we can find another shape. Let's try a square. Can you find a square somewhere in your house? Look all around. A lot of times, windows are squares. Is your window a square or is your window a rectangle? Sometimes windows have 2 long sides and 2 short sides, and sometimes they have 4 sides that are all the same. Do you have a square somewhere at your house? Okay, how about a rectangle? Remember, a rectangle has 2 short sides and 2 long sides. Do you have one at your house? I'll bet you that you have a door in your house that's a rectangle. And look on this door. What's right there? The doorknob is a circle. That's right. So I'll bet you have those shapes at your house. And you know what? Another shape, another place to look for shapes that's really fun is when you're driving down the street. Do you see shapes when you're driving down the street? Have you ever seen a shape that's a triangle shape that looks like this, and it means to slow down and check and make sure that there's not any cars in your way? Now, what about this shape? This is an octagon shape, and it says stop. Do you see those sometimes when you're driving down the street? And sometimes when you're driving down the street, there's a light. And there's 3 lights. There's a round one at the top and in the middle and the bottom. And the top one is red and it means to stop. The middle one is yellow. It means to slow down. And the green one says go. And it's 3 circles. When you're driving in the car, look for shapes. Because if you can find some shapes, you can find just about anything. Everything is made out of shapes. Isn't that kind of interesting? That there are so many shapes out there to see. And when you're in your house or when you're driving around, do you know what? If I look up on my ceiling, I see a rectangle light. It has 2 long sides and 2 short sides, just like this rectangle. So you know what? When we talk today about our robot, we're going to talk about different kinds of shapes that we can use. And there's going to be so many different kinds we can use. Now, if we decide to use a tube, right there, can you see that's a circle? This is kind of rounded. It's kind of, you can kind of look at it like a rectangle because it's got 2 long sides and 2 short sides. But it's really more, it's called a cylinder. We're not really going to talk about cylinders today, though. We're going to talk about circles and rectangles. And probably triangles and some squares. Yeah, some of those. Now there's 2 other shapes that we see all the time. Do you know what shape this is? It's a star. You're exactly right. This one's a star cookie. Does that look delicious? I wish I had a star cookie to eat. How about you? All right, another shape that we see all the time, and this one is really a nice shape. It's a heart. This one is a heart balloon. But you know what? I love to see hearts because I love to cross my heart and tell my family I love them. When you cross your hands like that, does it kind of turn your hands into a heart? That's kind of cool. You know what? Before we make our robot, how about we take remember we needed a piece of just regular paper? We're going to make some shapes. You think we can? And you know what? The cool thing about shapes is they don't have to be perfect. We don't have to make perfect shapes in order to make shapes. We're just going to make some shapes that we can look at. So get your paper and let's see. You can use a marker or a pencil or a crayon. We are going to make a really fun shape page. And you can use any color that you want to. So, you know what? I'm going to pull some shapes. I've got a whole bunch of shapes right here. And when I pick up a shape, I'm just going to grab a shape. I've got all these shapes. I'm just going to not look. And I'm going to pick up a shape. And we're going to draw it. All right. And then we're going to see if we maybe can draw something on our paper with the shapes. All right. Okay. I'm not looking. An oval. Let's try an oval. Now remember, it's kind of like a circle. It just goes around. Now it's not a perfect oval, but are we doing perfect? No, we're just having fun with shapes. Okay, you ready for another one? I can't pick it up. Oh, a diamond. You know what I think might be kind of fun? I'm going to draw a diamond right here. How's that? Oh, should we do a matching one on the other side? There's 2 diamonds. Did you draw a diamond? No, where did you draw your diamond? You don't have to draw it on the sides if you don't want to. So we've got an oval. We've got 2 diamonds. We ready for another one? How about a square? You know what? How about a square on the top? That's kind of an interesting thing we're drawing here. Okay, let's try another shape. Oh, a circle. Circles are kind of tricky. What do you think it could be? You know what? What if I took this shape and I drew some little eyes on it and a mouth on it? And look, it's kind of like a robot rolling around on a ball. The robot might fall over, don't you think? And there's his little arm. Should we draw him some fingers? Let's give him some buttons on his shirt right there. What do you think? What did you draw? Did you draw some shapes that have something funny on it? You know what? Let's turn it over. We'll draw another one on the other side. Let's see if we can draw something else on the other side. All right, let's try. I'll grab another piece. Oh, this one's going to be tricky to draw. Okay, we have to draw some sides. So we're going to draw a line here and a line here. Then we're going to draw a line on this side and a line on this side. You got that? One on the top, one on the bottom, one on the side and the side, and they're not touching each other. And now we're going to connect them to each other. Oh, there's the top of the octagon. How did your octagon turn out? Mine's a little bit crooked, isn't it? But that's all right. That's all right. We're not being perfect. Okay, let's see. A little rectangle. Let's do a rectangle right here. All right. Now let's get something else. What else can we get? Oh, a square. How about a square right here? All right. That's turning interesting. Oh, a triangle. That's looking interesting. Okay, we're going to do one more shape. Oh, a heart. You know what? I'm going to do a heart in the middle. Now, hearts are kind of tricky. The way I like to draw hearts, let's look at this heart for just a minute. Do you see how the top goes around and around? Let's try going around and around. And then the bottom part goes down, up. So we're going to go right here at this top part and go down, and this top part and go down. You know what that looks like to me? Kind of like a bird. Does that look like a bird to you? Should we give the bird an eye? We'll give him some little tiny legs. This is kind of a funny, maybe it's a bird wearing a hat. What did you draw? There's so many fun things you can do with shapes. And if you draw some shapes, you can make it be all kinds of different things. Now, it's kind of tricky to just draw them. But you know what? We're learning how to do those kinds of things. So we don't have to be perfect. We just do our very best. And sometimes people get frustrated. And you know what they do? They scribble out their picture. But you don't have to. You can turn it into something really kind of funny. Let's look at this side. That's kind of funny. Would you see that for real? No. Would you see a shaped bird like this for real? No, you wouldn't. It's kind of cool because you made it yourself any way you want. And you can have it be a different kind of a toy. It can be anything you want it to be. You just have to decide what you want it to be. This might have been, if we didn't draw the legs on it, this could have been a fish too. Or maybe it could have been a different kind of a robot. Whatever you decided you wanted to draw. All right. Now, I have some cool shapes I want to show you. But well, let's do our robot first. And then while you're finishing your robot, I will show them to you. Because they're really kind of cute. They're walking squares and triangles and circles. They're all different shapes. And I'm going to show them to you in just a minute. But let's take a minute and start working on our robot. The first thing we've got to do is decide what kind of a robot we want. So I think I'm going to take my plate. Now, you can use a plate, or like I said, you can use a cereal box. You just need something hard, and a plate's nice and hard. And I'm going to cut out the edges, and I'm going to make mine be a square, okay? So I'm going to take my scissors, put your fingers in the bottom and your thumb on the top. So when you're holding it, you can see it. And I'm going to take this and I'm going to cut it. Now it's kind of tricky to cut out a plate. See how that piece just kind of went into my hand? I'm going to take that out. Now, make sure you throw that in the garbage. We don't want to make a mess. And then I'm going to cut this way. Oh, sometimes your scissors get a little bit stuck. And if they do, see that cut right there? We can just cut out a little piece of it and then keep cutting. All right, so now we have those two sides and we've got all these little pieces. I'm going to turn it around so we can cut this side. Just like that. And then I'm going to cut this part right off the top. Oh, I got to turn it around this way because it was getting in my way. There we go. And we have kind of a square, kind of a rectangle-y piece. This one looks like a square. Yours might be more of a rectangle. It doesn't matter. But we're going to make a piece of paper, and it's kind of heavy. If you used a cereal box, sometimes cereal boxes have stuff on the inside and on the outside. So you know what happens? While you're cutting out your plate, I'm going to show you on a cereal box, it's kind of tricky to cut out. So a way to make it easier to cut out is to open the cereal box all the way up. So if you decide you want to make more than one robot, you could do that. Cereal boxes will come apart. They have places where they've been glued. And if you pull it apart, you have a great big piece, and you've got some big pieces right here. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to cut off these end pieces. All right. This is going to be a really, really heavy robot. And you know what? This one is hard enough to cut. You might have to have a little bit of help getting your shape because cereal boxes are kind of big. All right. And I'm even going to take a bit of this and just kind of tear some of that off so it's easier to cut. You could do that too. And you could also have your caregiver help you with that if you need to. Okay. Now, we've got one more big side and I'm just going to pull that off. And you might need some help for that. We've got this big one right here. Now, if you don't want the cereal box to have a picture on it, there's a really, really easy way to cover it up. Do you know what that is? To make it look like a robot. You could use this side, but if you don't like that there's something on the back, you can use some tin foil. And you take a piece of tin foil and rip it off, and you can put the foil around that picture. So I've got the picture right here. I'm going to put the paper right inside of here, and I'm going to fold the tin foil all the way around it. Okay. Now, tin foil usually sticks, but if yours isn't sticking very good, we have it all folded, you could get some of your tape and just put a little bit right in the corner to hold it so it won't come off. And now the tin foil is going to stick on there, and guess what? You have a shiny robot body. You could do that too if you wanted to. All right, I'm going to use this one first. This side of my paper plate was blue. This side was white. So you can use whatever you want. Now, you can use stickers or markers when you make this. Now, this one is probably going to need stickers because it's going to be it's kind of hard to write on foil. But with a marker, you can a little bit. All right, let's see what's next. We need another shape. And you know what shape I think I'm going to use? I think I'm going to draw a circle. I'm going to need a circle because I think I want a circle head. But if you want a square head will work if you want a square one. So you decide. I'm going to get this paper right here. And I'm going to take it. And you know what? I need to find a circle to trace. So I'm going to find a lid. This is a yogurt lid. You could find a lid, maybe a sour cream lid or a cottage cheese lid or some kind of a lid to make a circle that's going to fit right on our robot. Okay, and then the way it's going to work is I'm going to take this piece of paper right here, and it can be a colored paper or it can be a white paper or it can be part of the cereal box. You can trace it, and we're going to stick it right in the corner. And we're going to take our marker and draw all the way around it. Okay? And now I have a circle. So what do I have to do with the circle? I got to cut it out. So we're going to be doing lots of scissor work today, aren't we? All right, I'm going to take this and I'm going to cut right close to the dots. Now, is it going to, right close to the line, is it going to be perfect? No. We don't have to be perfect, and you don't even have to see the line. Now I have a circle. Now, if you decide you just want to do a square's super easy to do too. You can just take your heavy paper and just cut. It already has one side and one side that are the same. So we're going to make another side and we're going to turn it this way. And that's kind of actually that's more of a rectangle, isn't it? That's all right. Because do you see how this would work too? So you can use a square, or you can use, oh, I've just about lost my circle. Or you can use a circle. And then you know what we need to do? We've got to glue them together. So get your glue out. Get your glue out. And I'm going to do a circle. You can do a square, whatever you want. And I'm going to take it and I'm going to put some glue right here on the top. Okay? And then I'm going to take this and put it right here. Now I have a head for my robot. All right? Now, he doesn't look like a robot yet, does he? I've got his body and I've got his head. Now, if you have a tall body, if you cut out a tall body, or if you have this body, oops, this way, it will work, won't it? So whatever kind of a body you did, we're going to attach the head to it. Now, we're going to need some arms and some legs. They're a little bit easier to make. We have this paper, and you know what we're going to do? We're just going to cut some strips out of it. So what you need to do is just take this and just cut a piece right down the side of it. So you've got a strip of paper like that, and another strip of paper. We're gonna need a couple of strips. So how about we cut a couple of pieces out of there? Now, what shape are these? Those are long rectangles because we've got 2 long sides and 2 short sides. We have a long rectangle and another long rectangle. And you know what? I have some more paper, so I'm going to cut another rectangle. I don't know how many I'm going to need. So cut some rectangles out of here. All right. I have 3 rectangles. I'm about out of space for rectangles. Let's try one more just because it's fun to cut rectangles, shall we? Okay, now I have some scraps here. Do I throw them on the floor or throw them in the garbage? You're right, we throw them in the garbage. So when we're done, we don't have a big mess to clean up. Okay. Guess what I'm going to do with these rectangles? I have one long rectangle, and do you know what I'm going to do with them? I'm going to cut this long rectangle right in half. Now guess what I have? 2 short rectangles, and do you know what they're going to be? They're going to be the arms. Look at this. He can have an arm right here and an arm right here. He's turning right into a robot. All right, so what I need to do is I'm going to take my glue. I've got my robot right here. And I'm going to take my glue on this one, and I'm going to actually put it on the end of his arm. I'm going to put it right across there. Can you see that glue? And I'm going to stick it right on my robot. Now he's got one. Okay, I'm going to get some glue on the other one. And I'm going to take it and I'm going to put it right on the other side. Now, we have to kind of be really careful because the glue takes a little while to dry. So if it starts to fall off, don't get frustrated. We're just going to keep rubbing it till it's all dry. Okay, now we've got our head and our arms. We need to do some legs. Now, This is where you have to choose. This is the tricky part about choosing. You're going to need to decide if you want rectangle legs. Now those are really tall legs. So if you feel like it's too long, you can cut it off and make it shorter. You know what? I think I'm going to do that. I'm not going to cut it right in half this time. I'm just going to cut a little piece of it off. Let's see if that makes a better leg. Yeah. Not quite as short as his arms. It's a little bit longer. So we could do, so I needed one of my other rectangles and cut a little piece off another one. So I have a little one and a long one, and I'm going to take the other long one and I can glue it on here. Now, if I want to hold it like this just as a puppet robot, I can use these legs. If I want to do these kind of legs and make it stand, I'll show you how to do those in a minute. Right now, let's just glue this much together. Let's do his body, his rectangle body, his circle head or his square head, depends on which kind you drew, whichever kind you wanted, and his rectangle arms. And maybe you got creative and made some diamond arms. Could we have made some diamond arms? Let's see if a diamond arm would work on here. I have a diamond arm right here. If we cut out a diamond arm, could we do a diamond arm? Yeah, you could glue a diamond arm on if you wanted to. Okay, I'm going to do the rectangles. We've got this big square, 2 rectangles, and a circle. So far, he's turning into a shape robot. But you know what? Before I put his legs on, we need to make him look more like a robot. So what does a robot need? He's got to have eyes. That's right. He needs some eyes. Oh, you're thinking about this so good. So you can use, if you have some sticker eyes, you can use sticker eyes, or you can draw eyes. So I'm going to put on my robot, I think I'm going to make him some eyes. But if you want to draw the eyes on, there's one sticker green eye, and you know what I'm going to do with this one? I'm going to draw a marker eye. So you can do either one. This one's a sticker, this one's a marker. You can do whichever kind of eyes you want to draw. Now, I think I'm going to draw on a smile. Now, a robot can have a straight one, or he could have a smile one. You decide what kind of a mouth you want on your robot. And robots don't need to smell, but you know what? I think my robot might want to smell. So I'm going to draw him a little tiny nose. So there's his face. Now, robots have buttons everywhere. I have a sticker right here that's a long rectangle. And I'm going to take this sticker and I'm going to put it on my robot's head. And then on his head, I'm going to stick it on here so that you can see it. On his head, I'm going to draw some buttons. Let's see. Now you can, if you have stickers, you can put stickers on, or you can draw some buttons on his head. You can pretend he's going to shoot out lasers. You can pretend that he makes lots of noises. You can pretend he's going to clean your room. That would be kind of cool. And you could draw, or you could use stickers on your robot to make some buttons. I'm going to make some buttons down across his belly. All right. And you can draw them, or you can use stickers for them. Whatever you have. Oh, there's some buttons for my robot. Did you draw yours on? Let's make some all over our robot. Now, if you want your robot to have fingers, it's really, really easy to have him have fingers. You just need to draw some on the end. There's some fingers for that robot. You just need to draw some lines. There's some finger for that side. Now he's got some hands. How is your robot looking? Let's look at this robot right here that we did a long time ago. This robot has a square head. He's got a little button up here. He's got some eyes. His nose is kind of funny. But he's really different. And look, he's got legs and he can fold up. The nice thing about his legs is I can fold his legs and his head down. And I can put him somewhere little when I want to play with him. I just pull the pieces out. And he has a foil tummy. And you know what? We just made it big enough that it covered up his whole back. So you can do yours how. The fun thing about this is I'm an inventor today. You're an inventor today. And I don't invent things the same way you invent things. So your robot is going to be different than my robot. And the fun thing about that is, do they need to look the same? No, that's why people invent new things, because everybody does it a little different and it makes them so awesome because they are different. Now, let me show you what you could do. If you decide you want your guy to stand up and you don't want to use these kind of legs, if you decide you want to use these kind of legs, what you have to do is take this tube, and you might need some grown-up help. You're going to cut a little cut right in there. Can you see that little cut right there? And then right across from it, you're going to make another cut. So we have a cut on this side, and we have a cut on this side. And then we take our little robot, and we're going to slide him in. Now he has a leg. Now, guess what? If you put it in the middle, your robot could just have one leg. Should we see if he can stand up? If you wanted your robot to have two legs, you could do the same thing with another tube. Cut a little piece on each side. Then we got to scoot this back over to a side so we have room for the other leg. So we got one there. And we've got another leg on this side. Oh, we're going to have to be careful. And you might need some help sticking him in there. Now my robot can stand up. How about that? That robot can be any way you want. You know what? I think I'm going to draw some buttons right here on my robot. Now he's going to be kind of tricky with his legs on. I'm probably going to have to take his legs off to draw him on, but I think he wants some buttons on him. I think I'm going to try some blue ones because I don't have any blue on my robot. I'm going to draw my robot some ovally buttons. Do those look kind of like ovals to you? They're kind of circly ovals. How about that? How does that look? How does yours look? Is it looking so awesome? I'll bet you are making an awesome robot. Okay. I've got these. I'm going to take it and I'm going to put this guy back, his legs back on because I had to take him off for his buttons. And I'm going to put his legs back on. And if the legs are too much work, you can just use these kind of legs. Now my robot can stand up. Now I'm going to set him down for a minute. And we're going to talk for just a minute about some friends that are shapes. I'm going to hold him up. And you can tell me what shape he is. Are you ready? I've got a green guy right here. What shape is this guy? Yeah, he's a square. 1, 2, 3, 4 sides. This guy has 4 sides and they're all the same. So he's a square. All right, you ready for the next guy? It's a heart. It goes around and around. That's a heart. Oh, I love hearts because they mean I love you. All right. This one, we used a lot of these shapes today. What shape is this one? A rectangle. 2 long sides and 2 short sides. Very good. All right. Okay. We talked about this guy a lot today too. What shape is he? Yeah, he's a diamond. He's got 4 sides. 1, 2, 3, 4. And they're kind of at a different angle, aren't they? All right. Oh, this is the tricky one. What's this guy called? Octagon, you're right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 sides on this guy. All right. Oh, I think you're going to know exactly what this guy is. A star. You're so smart. All right. Oh, I think you'll know this one too. A circle. Circles and stars are easy because we see circles and stars so many places. Oh, we talked a lot about this guy. He is a 1, 2, 3 sides triangle. Very nice. Oh, this is a really tall guy. An oval. Oh, you're so good at those shapes. I hope you're having a good time with your robot. I hope that you have so much fun making him, and maybe you make one and you think, that was so fun. I'll try making a different kind. And maybe you could make this robot a friend. You could do that if you wanted to. And you can have him stand up, or you can have him be a puppet. Whatever kind of a robot you wanted to make, you could make him. Now, if you wanted to make him super tall, you could get some paper towel tubes and make his legs super tall. And then you could use these for his arms if you wanted to. You could even do stickers that are not just colored. You might have some stickers at your home that are different shapes, and you could put them on your robot. You are an inventor, and you can make your robot any way you want to make your robot, because you're pretty creative. Inventors mean they use their head and they don't worry about it being exactly the same as somebody else's. They make it their own way. And sometimes it might look like an animal or just a blob. It might not look like anything that you've seen anywhere, but that's because your brain thinks of really cool things, doesn't it? I always love being with you. You are so awesome. See you later, alligator. In a while, crocodile. You're awesome, possum. See you next time.